Keeping venomous reptiles is an unforgiving hobby, requiring proper training and lots of experience. One simple mistake can be the difference between life and death. Remember, the most venomous snake in the world is the one that just bit you. There are no venomous snakes with training wheels. Just because you see Viperkeeper handle snakes a certain way does not mean you should try it too.
The big guy up here is in shed, but I see him lifting his head and breathing heavy, so I think he'll probably eat. He's usually quite eager to feed, so I will oblige him by offering. Let's see here. You looking at me, huh? Oops. Oh, there we go. These are Pakistani Russell's Vipers. Just as he struck, number 3 down here zoomed off to its hide because Mrs. Viperkeeper is quite frightening and stuff.
I'm so big and scary.
You know, again, these snakes don't want to bite people. Usually people get bit by accident, mistaken identity, or these snakes get stepped on. They just want to stay the hell out of, you know, the way of humans. And look, I raised these from babies and stuff. They're born in August of 2019. So they know me, they know Lori, but they're quite shy. Well, except this guy up here. He's very gregarious and likes to come visit me, and very interested when I'm in the room, especially if, you know, food's at hand, or as long as he remembers hand is not food, that's okay with me. So we're gonna put a stick back in. Needs a change of water dish, which we'll do later. We're going to do this one next. First, let me...
God, and they love to snot up their glass.
Yeah, they have this snotty nose syndrome. Doesn't seem to slow them down in feeding. But it does snot up their glass, and sometimes I can see them blowing bubbles and stuff. And sometimes they get substrate stuck on their face, like that one. But you can see that that's not slowing it down. I had like 20 or so of these. Most of them went to the Kentucky Reptile Zoo because their venom is used to produce a test that's used in medical labs for diagnosing lupus. So it's a very important venom for them to provide for this purpose. So I supplied them with a whole bunch of babies. They already had lots of Russell's Vipers, but when you're keeping a large colony of snakes, you don't want to inbreed. So this was an entirely different bloodline of snakes to introduce to their males and females that they have. Therefore, you get genetic diversification, you get a little cross-pollination of venom depending on locality, and you know, you can breed healthy animals for years to come. You know, as you know, people who breed morphs inbreed against, you know, brother and sister, mother and father, and all that deal. And, you know, a lot of the animals that are born or hatched are deformed and have some sort of defect. This is what happens when you don't diversify the genes in large collections at zoos and venom labs. And I always try to not breed you know, siblings or parents or any genetic related animal that I'm aware of to, you know, the same bloodline. Now, this one took off for the hills. Is in its hiding zone back there, and we'll do this one on the bottom first since this one's easy to see. I started them off on, you know, small stuff and mice and such, but since they've gotten larger, I've moved them up to rats just to get some more size on them. Hello, yep. I'm just going to scoot this one in, and there we have it. And fortunately for the rat, it is dead, and it was euthanized humanely because getting bit by a Russell's viper not only is painful, but probably quite horrific. I've never seen a Russell's viper take any live animal. I certainly see it with the Equus. I always try to feed frozen thawed and not live animals to my snakes because, yes, I know they eat this stuff in the wild. They eat live prey. However, I don't publish any of that because simply I'm not interested in earning the wrath of the PETA folks. There you go. Okay. So it wasn't going to miss out of food. It just wanted to be out of everybody's sight. It was camera shy. So yeah, I don't live feed. I really wish people who do wouldn't, because it doesn't reflect well on the hobby, and they think that we're just, you know, there for the blood sport. Many of us are not here for the blood sport and are here because we're truly interested in the animals and the hobby. So the Gloyd's Cantils used to be very shy, but since I've moved them into these vision cages from a tub, they've been very aggressive feeders. And I've even had them go shooting across the cage to take the rodent, as you can see. That was a good strike, and we got a mouthful of water. Actually, someone suggested, and I think it's a good idea, for snakes that are chronic shedding problems, like thud, is I can take a syringe and inject a quantity of water into the mouse carcass, giving it some extra hydration during the meal. This is sort of a good idea because Thud being Thud, he will eat even if he's opaque. It doesn't matter to him. It's the perfect time to get some in. So whomever gave me that that suggestion, thank you very much. So let's move on to the male Cantil, who's in his little hut there. Now, of course, this week they're not going to come shooting across the room as they did previously, but you never can tell. And, you know, Lori's here, and these guys are like, well, okay, this guy's okay because he feeds me. And there we have it, another happy camper. He sort of came out. He was really shy in the tub and was more afraid of me than him really wanting to eat. So I'm quite pleased he has come around, and these guys are eating on a more regular, or especially him, the female was never an issue, eating well on a regular basis. Well, it's time to feed Mr. Brown, and you don't have to call him to dinner twice, do you?
Right on cue, just launches straight at the window.
Okay, so since I'm going to be away for a couple of weeks, I'll give him a little bit larger than one that he normally gets. Here, grab that. And while he's occupied with that, now is the time that you change his water bowl, because like other snakes, like Pink, he's not going to let go of that to come after me. People ask what the sticks are for. Well, they serve two purposes. One, these windows rattle when we walk around the house or there's a truck outside, and it's very annoying. Secondarily, it also keeps a little bit of friction on the glass, so it can't be easily slid in one direction or another. So that's what they're there for.